It has been 25 years since our eccentric, iconic mad scientist built a heart-shaped robot in our lives. The unpredictable Dr. Ivo Robotnik, known as the Eggman to many, has orchestrated some of the most unforgettable terror attacks Sonic's world has ever seen, ravaging the planet and incessantly meddling with forces beyond his control. But despite holding such a grandiose position of power, how exactly can the man with an IQ of over 300, the grandson of the famed Gerald Robotnik, find the money to build and maintain his mechanical brainchildren? I am the Sega Scourge, the Sonic Theorist, tackling 25 years of classic and modern Sonic alike. Let's find out.
Theorist. My whole life really has been a no, and I fought through it. I've been, I talk about it. It's not been easy for me. I started off in Robotropolis. My father gave me a small loan of 1,000,000 rings. I came back into Empire City, and I had to pay him back. I had to pay him back with interest, and then I came into Mobius and started building up Badniks. And I started, plotting evil schemes to, kill that dastardly hedgehog Sonic. And it kind of, it was kind of uphill from there. I went to this convention for bad guys. Saw Bowser and Zangief and some Wreck-It guy there.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Sonic Theorist. Whoa, minor technical difficulties there. Been getting a lot of that lately. Anyway, sorry about that. Before we start, I'd like to clarify, I know this episode is partially overdue. These Sonic Theorist episodes take significant time, planning, and prep from myself and many others in the midst of my current busy life schedule. So firstly, I'd like to apologize for my continued absence and your unwavering patience. And with that, I say we jump straight into this. Whoa, wait a minute, I'm losing the signal. What's going on? Can anyone...
Yo, what is going on? It is your boy DiGi Valentine here, jumping in on this episode of Scourge's Sonic Theorist. I'm very happy to be here and
Hold up, DiGi? What are you doing here? I mean, I appreciate you appearing to say hi like this, but I'm just about to start this episode of...
Well, you called me here, fam, remember? I was supposed to be a guest on this episode. Don't tell me you've forgotten.
Oh, I did, that's right. Wow, this one's from far back down the line. But that's right, I'd always intended to get you in on this theory. Our guest, Mr. DiGi Valentine of Zone Runners and Who Dat, ladies and gentlemen, and he'll be accompanying me throughout this video, surmising the wind-up of this concept surrounding the unforgettable Dr. Eggman.
Yes, indeed. Alright, let's start this thing.
Now, the good doctor is known for his finesse in style, his ego and flamboyancy, his fiery wit and iconically humorous one-liners, his incredible aptitude in all things mechanical, and of course, his ingenious and diabolical schemes, or sometimes lack thereof. I'm looking at you, Boom Eggman.
But with so much time spent in forethought, planning and preparing more nefarious deeds, how can the Doctor afford to manufacture so many Badniks and war machines, and at a substantial rate no less, when, as we know, our favourite spiky blue hero takes them apart every other week?
With outlandish creations such as the Death Egg from Sonic 2 and 3, the Egg Fleet from Sonic Heroes,
and don't forget the Interstellar Amusement Park from Sonic Colors.
Right. How can the Doctor meet the expense to build and maintain these immense creations? To maintain, for instance, a real-world battleship, it would cost a considerable sum of money to pay for fuel and production materials, and with metals like steel, chromium, and titanium most likely being his prime alloys, Eggman must be paying a heavy toll. Metal isn't cheap after all.
However, that being said, Eggman most likely does recycle his older machines into newer models, or at the very least, converts Badnik chassis into scrap, as he mentioned in Sonic Adventure, claiming that E101 Beta could be put to use aboard the egg carrier as a set of spare parts. However, that does not omit his other more elaborate projects that, given the scale, undoubtedly require funding from somewhere.
If Eggman were to require a source of regular income from outside sources, it would more than likely be through under-the-table transactions, extortion, money laundering, and shady black market profiteering. Consider the various casino establishments with the Doctor's face or logo motif displayed notably more than it should be. Casino Night from Sonic 2, Casino Park and Bingo Highway from Sonic Heroes spring to mind. That's evidence enough to me that Eggman has some kind of control over their businesses.
Now that you mention it, Casino Night from Sonic Generations 3DS has large oversized roulette tables shaped in a Doctor's image, if I recall. Many slot machines appearing in various levels over the years have also shared this emblem. But let's leave Casinoopolis from Sonic Adventure out of this analysis though, as that level features way more Sonic the Hedgehog imagery than the Doctor's. I mean, you know, a giant golden statue of the Hedgehog? Nah, Dr. Eggman would never let Sonic's likeness plague an establishment under his jurisdiction. With Eggman puppeteering these casino zones, whether it be through share ownership or illegal means, this gives him an immediate flow of funds to supply to his evil handiwork. The house always wins, I suppose.
In Sonic Riders Zero Gravity, it's unveiled that Eggman is actually the founder and CEO of the weapons and security manufacturing firm Meteotech, described as the world's leading and trusted security company. This deeply implies that Meteotech has existed, thriving for quite a long period of time, most likely throughout Eggman's previous misdeeds in the games leading up to this reveal. The company, patently, is of course a front to conceal the Doctor's true ideology and sinister plans to construct Eggman Land and take over the world. It's also best to note that the Doctor's involvement with the company is likely kept quiet from the eyes and ears of the public in an attempt to maintain their credibility.
Oil Ocean Zone from Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is yet another hint to how Eggman earns his revenue stream. As signified in the game's manual, this zone is property of our egocentric Doctor. The quote in question: "Robotnik's refineries are pumping at full steam. Crude oil has turned the ocean black. Can Sonic keep his footing on the slippery catwalks and bursting steam vents?" Note that the oil business in the real world is one of the largest, most booming industries on the planet, accounting for billions of US dollars every year.
With this being said, the form currency takes in Sonic's world is undoubtedly rings. Games such as Unleashed and 06 make this clear enough through the use of trading rings for items in shops and stores. I hope you understand where I'm going with this, Digi.
Yeah, I think I see where you're going. So, if we calculate a rough estimate exchange rate between rings and a real-world currency, let's say the US dollar, we should be able to find out just how much rings are approximately worth.
Exactly. In Sonic Unleashed, a normal vendor sells chili dogs at about 50 rings each. A chili dog in our world costs anywhere between, let's say, $2.25 to $3, depending on the chain or supplier. Let's say we round out the real-life price of a chili dog to around $2.50. That gives us an exchange multiplier of 20 when calculating the difference between these two numbers.
But hang on a minute, man. How do we know these figures are accurate? I mean, rings of the Sonic world may not directly translate into accurate real-world prices when applied to other items than chili dogs, innit?
Well, let's take the television in Professor Pickle's study from Unleashed as an example. It's an old 1960s style model, bought in Spogonia for 1,000 rings. If you divide this by our multiplier from earlier, that comes to around $50 in real currency. This sounds very faithful when you consider that there are similar TV sets going for the same price on sites like eBay right now. Now, with that in mind, a real-life oil production company earns, on average, $75 million a day, which is $27.4 billion a year. If we use our exchange multiple, we find that the conversion comes up to 548 billion rings per year.
And if you combine that with the average casino earning over, let's say, around $630,000 a day for one casino, taking into account the two casinos that we know Eggman has his hands on, that's a median of $1.26 million a day, coming up to around $459.9 million a year. Times in that figure by our exchange difference of 20 gives us 9.1 billion rings already, adding on to those two figures from the additional revenue for Meteotech.
For any multinational security contractor or manufacturer, as an example, I'm using the British defence and security company BAE Systems, who cough up on average just below $1 billion yearly. So if you use our multiplier once again, we get over 24 billion rings. All these totals tied together conclude to a whopping 582,145,293,000 rings a year. If we divide this by 20, we get the real-life counterpart of over $29 billion of yearly revenue exclusively to the Eggman Empire.
So just for some perspective on what Scourge is saying, guys, that's over twice the amount Her Majesty the Queen of England makes annually, and 72,000 times the amount of the President's yearly income. That's a mad amount of cash.
But in spite of that, that's not counting however many more casinos, oil refineries, and other industries the Doctor runs across the entire planet. With that in consideration, theoretically this amount of rings could be multiplied tenfold.
So with this knowledge in hand, it's pretty safe to assume that our beloved Eggman is most definitely a secret billionaire, as unbelievable as that may sound.
Hence being capable to sustain his life dream, able to design, construct and embellish his bizarre and menacing creations. Despite the comical sideshow representation of Eggman we see nowadays, the subventions of the good Doctor are a testament to the fact that his brilliant intellect is still and always has been in full throttle.
His powerful intimidation and dark dealings that helped establish all his mystery benefactors, facilitating and pumping the life force needed for the eventual inauguration of Eggman Land.
Dr. Eggman, truly the man with the master plan.
So, what do you guys think about this theory? Eggman's just rolling in the dough. Be sure to share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, please show the channel some love by dropping a like and subscribing for more Sonic Theorist videos. Once again, guys, I'd like to apologize for the delay in getting this episode out. Life's been hitting me pretty hard lately, and it's certainly been a saga to make this video happen. I'd like to express considerable thanks to several parties who've contributed to this episode's creation. People like the veteran SonicWindBlue for all his footage, Renren Rose for script co-editing, Jiggly King 20 for the SFM animation work seen at the start, and ShadicStick for his voice work as Eggman during said animation. C-oloris for her wonderful thumbnail artwork of Dr. Eggman. If I've forgotten anyone else, I greatly apologize. A full list of credits will be available in the description anyway. I'm very tired and looking forward to put myself, as well as this theory, to bed. Before that though, let's have a few closing words from my stellar guest and co-host for this theory. Take it away, DiGi.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this theory actually. It was a very interesting one. I want to send a shout out to Scourge for letting me jump on board this episode and co-host it with him. And as for me, yeah guys, I'm DiGi Valentine. Hi, nice to meet you. I do a show over on my channel called Who Dat, which is a fictional character review show. So I basically review and analyze fictional characters from video games and stuff. I've done a few Sonic characters in the past. I've got a few Sonic characters lined up in the near future. So if that sounds like your kind of thing, then why not swing by and check me out as well. But again, shout outs to Scourge for letting me jump on board this one. And I like what the guy's doing here on this channel. Keep up the good work, man.
Thanks, man. Glad you had fun, and it was great having you at last. Also, as a final note, guys, if you enjoy my theory videos and want to stay up to date, be sure to click this little icon next to the subscribe button and enable notifications. That way, you'll be immediately informed as soon as my videos are public. From me, the Sega Scourge, the Sonic Theorist, thanks very much for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.